Hi friends, welcome to Sada Learning Hub. You are with me Shadashara Rao. Today's session we are going to learn the most important JSP interview questions. See here in this video I am going to cover 15 most important JSP interview questions. The first question is, how do you pass control from one JSP page to another? See here, if you want to pass one If you want to pass control from one JSP to the another page, there is a two ways are available. The first one is by using the request dispatcher object forward method to pass the control, and the second one is by using the request response dot send redirect method. If you use these two methods, if you use these two approaches to pass control from one JSP page to another JSP page. The first one is request dispatcher object forward method. The second one is response dot send redirect method. The next question is, can you make using of a servlet output stream object from within a JSP page? No. You are supposed to make a use of one only a JSP writer object. For a replying the clients, a JSP writer can be viewed as a buffered version of a stream objects returned by the response.getWriter method. Although from the implementation's perspective, it is not. It's not to make a use of a servlet output stream object from within the JSP page. It's not possible to make the use of servlet output stream object from within the JSP page. You are supposed to make the use of only the JSP writer object for replying to clients. A JSP writer can be viewed as a buffered versions of the stream objects returned by the response.getWriter. Although from the implementation perspective, it's not possible to make the use of servlet output stream object from within a JSP page. The next question is, what is the page directive to use to prevent a JSP page from automatically creating a session? If you want a page directive to use to prevent a JSP page from automatically creating a JSP session, we can use the page directive with the attribute of session is equal to false. This session attribute is equal to false is used to prevent a JSP page from automatically creating a session. If you don't want to create a session, you can go and use the page directive attribute, go through the page directive and use the session attribute as a false. It prevents a JSP page from automatically creating a session. The next question is how to pass the information from a JSP to included JSP. If you want to pass the information from a JSP to included JSP, you can use the JSP param tag. See here, param itself is saying to pass the additional parameters to one JSP to the another JSP page or one JSP to the included JSP pages. The next question is, can you override the JSP init method and underscore JSP service method and jspDestroy methods? We can override the JSP init method and jspDestroy method, but not underscore JSP service methods. We can override the JSP init method. This method is used to do the initialization processes. If you want to do any initialization process, you can use just JSP init method. And the JSP destroy method is used to destroy the variables, is used to destroy resources. Whenever we are killing the JSP page, whenever we are moving from JSP page, we can destroy the resources within the JSP page by using the JSP destroy method. and it's not possible to override the JSP service method. It is overridden by the container. The programmer is not possible to override underscore JSP service method. The next question is, why is underscore JSP service method starting with an underscore while other lifecycle methods do not? If you see JSP colon init method, if you see sorry JSP init method and JSP destroy method, these two methods are not starting with underscore. But if you see service method, the service method is starting with underscore JSP service method. Why it is starting with underscore JSP service method? The underscore JSP service method will be written by the container. Hence, any method which are not to be overridden by the end user are typically written starting with an underscore. This is the reason why do not override underscore JSP service method in any JSP pages. A JSP page include.jsp has an instance variable int a. Now this page is statically included in another JSP page home.jsp, which is also have an instance variable int a declared. What happens when home.jsp page is represented by the client? It causes the compilation error, as the two variables within the same name cannot be declared. This happens because a page is included statically entire the code of including page because the part of the new page at this time there are the two declarations of a variable a, hence the compilation error. This is the reason why the underscore JSP service method is not possible to override by the end user, means programmer. It is only possible to override by the container. The next question is, how is scripting disabled? See here, if you want to disable the script, it's also possible to disable the scripts into your JSP page. If you want to disable the scripts into your JSP page, we can use this XML configuration into your web.xml file. This will automatically disable your scripting. The scripting is disabled by setting the scripting invalid element of the deployment descriptor to true. It is the sub element of the JSP property group. It is the valid value is true and false. If you see, this is the syntax. The root tag is JSP hyphen property hyphen group. The inside the JSP hyphen property of the group, which JSP page you want to disable the scripting. We can mention the JSP page, and if you want to disable the scripting, we can put it the true. If you want to enable the scripting, just we can put it the false. This is an XML configuration. It can be useful to disable your scripting into your JSP page. The next question is, when do you use application scope? If you want to make our data available to entire the application, then we have to use the application scope. See, whenever you are using or whenever you are making a variable to your application scope, in that situation we can use that variable as an application level scope. If you want to make our data variable available into entire application, then we have to use an application scope. The next question is, what are the options in the JSP include files? A JSP, we can perform the inclusions in the following ways. The first way is by include the directive. If you see, if you want to include the directive, we can use this syntax include directive, the attribute is called file. By the include action, by using the page context implicit objects, it is also possible to include our file page context dot include. Which file you want to include, we need to give file at here. We can use by using the action tag. We can use our page context. It's also possible to include our JSP, and we can use our request dispatcher object. By using the request dispatcher object, we can include our JSP page. If we see request dispatcher RD is equal to request dot get request dispatcher, which page you want to include. We can use RD dot include of request and the response. This is also one way to include your JSP page. If you see, there is a three different ways to include our JSP page. The first one is we can use our include action tag. The second one is we can use our page context implicit object. And third one is we can include our page by using the request dispatcher object. These are the three different ways to include your page into one page into the another page. The next question is, how does JSP engine instantiate tag handler class instance? A JSP engine will always instantiate a new tag handler instance every time a tag is encountered into the JSP page. If you see, whenever you are creating a custom tag, whenever you are using the custom tag, automatically each and every time the JSP container is going to encounter that engine. A pool of tag instances are maintained and reusing them where possible. When a tag is encountered, the JSP engine will try to find the tag instance that is not being used and use the same and then release it. If you see, whenever you are using an tag, custom tag, automatically the JSP engine try to find the tag into your configuration and loads the JSP your custom tag into your it loads the custom tags into your JSP page. This is the way to JSP engine instance is the tag handler class instance. The next question is, what is the difference between a JavaBean and the taglib directive? If you see a JavaBean and the taglib fundamentals were introduced for reusability. If you want to reuse your code, we can use the JavaBeans and the taglib. These are the two different concepts. But the major difference between them is a tag libs are generated presentation elements while a JavaBeans are a good for storing the information and the state. If you see a tag libs, the tag libs are generated presentation elements. If you see while creating your custom tags, definitely we need to create a tag handler taglib classes. The taglibs are for generating a presentation elements, but JavaBeans are good for storing the information on the state. Use the custom tags to implement the actions and the JavaBeans to present the information. If you see any custom tags, the custom tags in the custom tags, the taglibs are generating the presentations and the JavaBeans are presenting the informations. The next question is, explain the JSP and tell its uses. A JSP stands for Java Server Pages. It is the presentation layer technology independent of platforms. We can use it any platform. It is independent of platforms. It comes with the Sun J2EE platforms. They are like HTML pages but with the Java code pieces embedded into them. They are saved with the .jsp extensions. They are compiled using the JSP compiler in the background and generated the servlet from the page. If you see, a JSP stands for Java Server Phases. A presentation layer, the JSP is used for the presentation layer. It is introduced by the Sun Microsystems in the for J2EE platforms. It is like a HTML pages, but it embedded with the Java code. JSP is embedded with the Java code. The JSP we can save by using the .jsp extensions. They are compiled by the JSP compiler, and the background generated the servlets into the servlets from the page. The next question is how to restrict the page errors displaying in the JSP page. If you want to restrict the errors display in the JSP page by setting up an error page attribute of a page directory to the name of an error page in the JSP page. And then the error JSP page set is error page is equal to true, errors can be stopped from getting displayed. See, whenever you are getting the errors into your JSP page, the displaying the errors into your JSP page is not a good approach. By setting up an error page attribute of a page directive to the name of the error page in the JSP page, and then in the error JSP page set is error page is equal to true, then error can be stopped from getting displayed. Whenever we are doing these two things, we need to put one attribute is error page is equal to true. Error page is equal to whatever which page is going to access an error page, we need to put that one as an error page, and which page is acting an error page, in that page we need to put a page directive attribute is error page is equal to true. Then we can restrict page errors displaying into your JSP page. The next question is what is the JSP actions? They are an XML tags which direct the servers to using an existing components or a control behavior of an JSP engine. They consisting of a typical prefix of JSP action names. See here, they are an XML tags which directs the server to use an existing components and the control behavior of a JSP engine. They consisting of a typical prefix of a JSP. The action tags are include, and the next one is get property. The get property is used to get the information from the JavaBeans. And the next one is a forward tag. The forward tag is used to forward your request. And next one is the set property. The set property is used to set the JavaBeans. Set the properties in the JavaBeans. The next one is a useBean. The useBean is used to create a JavaBean object. The next one is plugin tag. The plugin tag is used to embed your applets like those features. These are the some standard action tags are available into a JSP page in the JSP. The next one is a difference between JSP include page attribute and a JSP include file attribute. If you see in the include tag, there is a two attributes available. The first one is a page attribute and the second one is a file attribute. If you see JSP colon include page attribute is a standard action tag, and if you see percentage at the rate include is in a directive, it has a file attribute. Both these tags include information from a page 1 to another. These two include tags are used to include the information from one JSP page to another JSP page. But the JSP colon include action tag acts as a function call between a two JSPs. It is executed each time client page is accessed by the client. It is useful to modularize the web applications. New content is included into the output. But coming to the second tag, this is the tag. This tag content of file is textually embedded having a similar directives. The changed content is not included in the output. It is helpful when the code from one JSP is required by the several JSP pages. These are the differences between a JSP include action tag and the JSP and include directive. Thank you guys. Thank you for watching this video. Next video I'm going to cover the next 15 JSP interview questions. Keep watching.
Thank you so much watching this video. Hope this lesson helpful to you. Keep watching our lessons. Keep writing to us. Do not forget subscribe our channel Learning Hub because we have many sessions that would help you to develop our skills, and I will be back soon. Till then you take care. Bye bye.